Hello viewer, it looks like I'm here for part 4 of my CNC project. So a couple of little differences today is I'll be doing some soldering. So I've got my little soldering station here. I've had this for some time. It's been a good little soldering station. Sitting on a repurposed hard drive cap just to give me the stability with soldering on so that it doesn't fall over. I used to have like a drawer thing, and it would slot into like that. Used to get up my goat. So what I plan to do today is mount the end stops. Obviously this isn't to its original design by any stretch of the imagination, so I sort of have a few bits and pieces here just to try and work something out. Now the reason I got to do some soldering today is, being a 3D printer board, it is going to be expecting some heat temperatures, so it ain't going to get any. I think I can work my way around that by telling the heat expectation to be low, like 0, but I'm still going to have some sensors. Now I don't know if you've seen one of my other videos where I just pulled apart 2 battery units, and I got these 2 thermistors, and I think they might be quite good. Excuse the noise, I'm just going through my electronics drawer. Get my heat shrink. So that's going to be my little soldering project today. I'm going to solder in these thermistors. I haven't checked their ratings. I'm not going for a precise value here, because I'm just going to work on the fact that I just need a reading. I just need a reading that's not 0 or not showing as disconnected. And that will be sufficient for, I hope that will be sufficient for the board, and that when I set the monitoring requirements low, like 0 or maybe 2 degrees or something, just so there's a figure there, that there will be enough to not cause the board to hang up on the fact that it's not getting a reading. So these 2 positions here are the heat sensors. So this one here is for the bed, and that one's for the hot end. And the other ones I'll be wiring up today is the X stop and the Y stop. So these 2. Now these 2 here are fans. So that one there is for the main cooling fan, and that one there is for the hot end cooling fan. So those 2 I shouldn't need to use at this stage, though there may be some use for them at a later stage. So first things first is I'm actually going to do the soldering. Got my iron warmed up, got my solder. I do keep my solder just in a bag like this that I pull out through the top. Just keeps the grease and dust and grime off it. You know, a thing of solder like this will last you a long time. So it just keeps it, you know, clean, and keeps your hand grease and stuff off it, because you're only exposing a little bit at a time, and it just makes it last a little bit better. So I do have proper wire strippers, but you know, sometimes it's just easier to keep it simple. So just bring in some heat shrink. Do like to heat shrink my connections if I can. Obviously it's not always possible, but it's less messy over time compared to using tape. There's no reference, there's no reason why I'm using a different colour here. It's just the colour I've got for this thickness. That's all, doesn't signify anything important. Now with these types of coated copper, I actually find quite often the best way is just to burn the coating off, and that makes it quite solderable. You can of course use fine sandpaper. That's what I used to do in my younger days. Sit there sanding or scraping the copper. But obviously it's a little bit quicker just to hit it with a flame. So I won't go into any lessons on soldering today. I'd kind of assume that if you're hitting this point of project, you probably know how to solder already. So just use the flame to do the heat shrink. Again, I do have a heat gun, but quite often it's just as simple to pop the item in. So I'm just going to fold that across there and on to the next one. Actually, I don't know how the flame shows up in the video. Hopefully it doesn't cause any problems with the lighting. Okay, I could probably do that a bit longer. Okay. So like I say, this is just purely to give the motherboard or the circuit board something to register. Because if it detects an open circuit, it may just throw it up as an error and not actually run the file. And in this video I'm hoping to actually get the file to run and have the XY axis actually moving, just to show that they're going to work. Right, that's number 2. So I don't have to worry about this copper here because it is actually protected with the I actually don't know what it is, some sort of I don't know. I'm going to use the word paint even though I know it's not paint, but you know, it is a shielding. So now we've got the XY axis that I'm going to hook on, just using these. Now one thing I did notice when I was having a bit of a play around is, out of all luck and no design, in here, if I mount this little micro switch on that rod, it actually hits the board quite nicely. So this one is actually going to be really easy. So effectively what I need to do is just drill a couple of holes right there or there. I'm going to do it here because this one slopes in, so I can't mount it there, whereas there it's got a bit of a gap, so I can mount it away from the motor and I can just drill it in through there. So get the drill, me drill bits. This is sort of my quick access drill bits, you might say. I do have other full drill set with all the sizes, but this just has a number of bits and things in my little drawer, so it's quite handy. Right, so let's do some careful measurement. No, we won't. Who am I kidding? How much careful measurement goes on. So I've got some screws now, and we'll just screw this into place. Do like magnetic screwdrivers, but sometimes they can be a bit of a pain, but however. Alright. One thing you do have to be careful of with this type of plastic is make sure you don't underscrew your holes, undersize your holes, because it can split. So what we've got here is this should now come in against here. I don't know if you can hear that click, but that's click on, click off, click on, click off. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So that's one. Now I'm just going to thread it through there for convenience, and that will plug into the X stop right there, and now we'll do the Y stop. So the Y stop, my thinking was to mount this here. Yeah, I think that's going to work quite nicely. So mount the micro switch onto this panel here. Now I don't need movement for the XY stop. The XY stops are fixed. I don't need to be able to adjust them. It's the Z axis that I would need to be able to adjust when I come to that part of the project. So actually here we go. So he's got the little screws. So I can make that one out of the way. Turn the iron off. So what have we got here? Oh, that's just downright perfect. I'll probably hunt down some washers, because I don't think it's going to be terrifically brilliant without washers, but I'll just hook it up for now without, because I haven't got them handy. Oh, actually maybe these are the ones that do the trick. So you probably didn't see what I did there, but it's actually quite a good little tip. If you're trying to get a little washer out of something, just lick the end of your finger, the washer will stick to your finger. So rather than trying to argue-fy with it to get it to come out, especially if you keep your fingernails short, it's pretty much going to be a lost cause from the beginning anyway. Okay, so that gives me my little bracket. So it's going to work nice as well. I think this is turning out to be quite good. So I've got, oh yeah, so it's got little on that side, big on that side. I think that's going to work. So I'm trying not to cover what I'm doing from you. It is a little bit tricky sometimes to. So I'm just going to drill in there. Now, one thing is with the drilling into this plastic at the moment, because it's only a low quality type of print, because it's done at a very, you know, without too much info and done as a quick print. It's not solid inside, so it's got about, I think, 25% info on the 3D print. So just means there's not necessarily a lot at this point for this to bond into. So I just have to be a little bit careful to not over tighten. Though actually it feels like it's gripping quite nicely, so that's not too bad. But when I come and do a final print of any of these parts, like if I find that these are actually okay, then I may just need to reprint that one and just put in a little bit more support for where these screws go in. Just to avoid any breakages or problems at a later stage. So maybe too slowly, right? But oh, so that actually isn't feeling too bad. It's actually got a bit of a nice grip there. So that gives me my y-axis. So as I wind this in, that should quite nicely, there we go. That's cool. So that's actually worked. Yeah. So I don't know if you see that, but there's actually a bit of flex there. So I'm going to have to work out the flex and problems at some stage. We'll see what it's like when I actually do something with it. But one thing I did notice is that motor mount that I printed. It's got a little bit of flex in it, so I think I need to bring a support arm out to bond into this area of the board, just to free that up, because you can see, you know, what it's doing to this part of it. Certainly not something you really want. I mean, some of it's in this coupler, which I'll deal with. So, right, that's the next stop done. So the very next thing is to get some power to it. So, looking at the time this video is taken, I will do that in the next video. This is taking a little bit longer. Actually, no, I can't probably put that through there. So, right. So that gives us our thermal couplers for a reading, our X and Y stops for the platform, and yep, so the next video we'll be putting power to it. I did think I'd be able to do that this video, but I think it's gone on a little bit long already, so we'll do that in part 5 if I'm correct. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope this little project of mine is of some interest, and hope it works. Thank you.